My nature knew all along, towards the end of my cultivation, why a lot of Bodhisattva took so long. Actually, it need not take so long, and it can be done much faster, provided you have the understanding. And this is also mainly the reason why Maitreya Buddha in the year 2008 requested my nature to come out to share this understanding with the world. The way it happened is very beautiful. It's described towards the end of this book. For those who have read, you would have known the detail of it. So anyway, this is like to allow the serious cultivator to have the understanding. Because for those who have really followed what I have instructed and all my sharing on this Bodhisattva way, if you have done it, you have gone into it, you would have realized one very important thing that is happening. The moment you decide with strong faith, saddha, virya, to go this way, to take this vow, the moment you did that, and you sincerely, with faith, go through all this, then you determine to remind yourself all the important things that you need to do while taking this vow. If you have done it over a period of 3 to 6 months and you can remember it without looking at the notes, then you develop the cultivation. You will know your cultivation become very different. A lot of things will happen to you, and your understanding keep on unfolding. So this aspect is not only for this life, because you go this way, your understanding become very comprehensive and very complete. Then with that faith, saddha, virya, when you move, your cultivation become very different, because this way covers the full range of cultivation and ensure that not only this life, life after life, when you come, whether you choose to come or you have to come, this understanding will follow you, whether sasana is there or no. Then your cultivation will progress beautifully without having problem of falling back when there is no Buddha sasana. The reason why you can realize this is you plant the seed of bodhi with understanding. Then when you plant it deep into your nature through faith, through understanding, it will manifest that bodhi mind that will continue to nurture you whenever you arise, because this is something you have planted, the bodhi seed, with faith, with understanding, and with that type of determination. Then apart from that, you know how to make aspiration by invoking merits. Whatever merits that you have developed and cultivated over the long period of time, for causes and conditions for you to have this right view and right understanding life after life whenever you come. And this right view and right understanding are very important. This is the basis of enlightenment, basis of understanding life and living life. Especially the two aspects of the five aggregates of form and mind. The three right views, in particular the right view in regards to law of karma. Then the five aggregates are very important. Rupang anicang, rupang anatta, Vedana anicca, Vedana anatta. Sanya anicca, Sanya anatta. Sankhara anicca, Sankhara anatta. Then finally, Vijnana, anicca, Vijnana anatta. Then the final summary, Sabbe sankhara anicca, Sabbe sankhara dukkha, Sabbe dhamma anatta. Then apart from this, you also ask for forgiveness to break your karmic offense, to break whatever karmic obstruction. And this is the most important. Then you repent, never to repeat all this, through following the advice of the Buddha. When you follow the advice of the Buddha, you take the 3 sets of pure precepts as a Bodhisattva, which is a lot deeper than the general advice of the Buddha. The 3 sets of pure precepts will bring forth the way, because they tie up with the 4 basic vows. Then the most important one is you invoke power of merits for causes and conditions to develop affinity with all the great beings. That one is the most powerful, most important. Then you sincerely express your gratitude, your thanks towards them. You thank them for their protection, their blessing, and their guidance all this while, and express deep gratitude and thanks towards their nature. Then continue to request for their blessing, protection, and guidance. If you do this, you will move very fast. Without you knowing, their nature is everywhere. These great beings' nature are ever radiating for the cultivator of the way. You don't have to worry. You don't have to go somewhere to receive them. Wherever you are, where you have the condition, their nature will arise, and you will draw. You will understand. Like one of my teachers tell me, even in the Chana ground, during the time of the Buddha, when they were meditating, that nature too was there. So these are the very important understanding that cultivator of the way doesn't have the full understanding. That's why this book come about, because of causes and conditions. And this is the result of all the conditions that has been fulfilled. Then also is part of my nature's duty. So because of that, all this teaching come about, and it was recorded. People did the transcript. Then I edited it. Then the book came out. So with the book, if you read through slowly with understanding, everything is explained there very clearly, and it's very easy to develop the understanding and the cultivation. And this is what you need to take care of all your future cultivation. With this, you will never get lost. You will progress very fast, and you can develop a nature that is very unique, and you can be a blessing to all. Maybe before the next sasana, a lot of you, your nature will be very different. You can come out and share on your own, because you have this understanding. Okay, so that is a very important summary and reminder. Okay, we turn to page 103. Taking of the Bodhisattva vow. Now we shall prepare ourselves, develop the faith, saddha, and the virya, and then mindfully we will do this together. I will first read to you the preparatory part first. As is traditional, you may seek a Buddhist center, or temple, or a shrine, and take the Bodhisattva way or vows in the presence of a teacher Or if you cannot do so, you can take them at home in front of your sacred shrine. Because for those who have taken it before, you don't have to take it in front of a teacher anymore. You can just do it anywhere. If you have your own shrine, that is the best. Then you must do this. One must make strong aspiration to take the Bodhisattva vow with great determined faith and understanding and sincerity in front of the Buddha or any great beings, Maha Bodhisattva, who have gone before you. Tonight we have all the great beings' nature here. Actually that night, I don't know how many of you felt it. It was so strong. Their nature were all there and so strong. And there was a lot of joy. That's why I mentioned. Tonight we have all the great beings' nature here. Sakyamuni Buddha, Amitabha Buddha, Maitreya Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, Fuxian, Pusa, Tizangwang Pusa, and all the other great Maha Bodhisattva and Buddhas of all the 10 directions. Together in front of them, we shall make this strong resolve and aspiration to take this vow. Then I ask, okay, are you all ready? Be in the kneeling posture to develop the great resolve and the making of this special aspiration to walk the Bodhisattva way sincerely with great determination and understanding. This is just to make the aspiration to walk this way, not the taking of the vow as yet. But you must determine strongly, because later on I will explain to you how to develop the actual vow after you have made those special aspirations to walk this Bodhisattva way. Without the right view and right understanding, you cannot walk this way successfully. That's the reason why you must make this aspiration, for you to have the understanding life after life. Now I will teach you how to invoke this aspiration. You all can recite after me, following the notes. Okay, you all want to do it? Yeah. Be in the kneeling posture. I will take you all through. Then you recite together with me. This is to reaffirm. So determine with strong faith and aspire strongly. Then we recite together. By the power of whatever blessings and wholesomeness that this nature of mine have cultivated from the distant past until now, may it arise the causes and conditions for this nature of mine to have the following right Dhamma understanding, life after life, whenever it chooses to come or have to come in the form of a form and mind. Right view with regards to the law of karma, karma niyama, the law of dependent originating or dwelling, chitta niyama, and the Four Noble Truths, Dhamma niyama. So this note I will read to you all. This right view we have already learned. So you have to go back and reflect, contemplate and develop the second turning wisdom on your own. So this one I have also repeated it on one of the Thursday class. Remember? The 3 evil roots. Very detailed. We have gone through the law of karma many times. How from there the essential Dhamma of the Buddha comes about, and how the Buddha actually developed his teaching to advise you to avoid all evil, do good, and purify the mind. Then how he advised you to renew your precept, take refuge, etc. All this comes from these right views. Then you can develop the meditation to understand how you function as a human being via Chitta Niyama. Then finally, from the Four Noble Truths, which is the essence of the Buddha's teaching, all the other essential Dhamma are spin-off from that. Then after that, we reaffirm to understand the below second right view clearly. Okay, we recite together 3.2. To understand the two aspects of the five aggregates of form and mind clearly, we are the direct seeing to realize that they are all conditioned arising entities, causal phenomena, hence impermanent, leading to suffering, not me, non-self, and empty. These so-called living beings, the five aggregate of form and mind, is just a karmically conditioned vehicle and tool for us to come to this existential world, to develop the cultivation and experience all of the beauty and wonders of life. So need to use it with wisdom to arise the appropriate right thought, right speech and right action, so as to be a blessing to all and not to be deluded by it. Then to constantly recite with understanding the following profound Dhamma. Rupang anicang, rupang anatta, Vedanak anicang, Vedanak anatta, Sanya anicang, Sanya anatta, Sankara anicang, Sankara anatta, Vinyanang anicang, Vinyanang anatta, Sabbe sankara anicang, Sabbe sankara dukkhaṃ, Sabbe dhamma anatta. Then having developed the above three right view, this nature of mind, we recite together. Having developed the above right views, this nature of mind vow to always keep the following three sets of pure precepts. We are following the advice of all Sama Sambuddha. To avoid all evil and to understand clearly what constitutes evil. The three evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion are the root of all evil. Then in the note, I read to you, you must go back and do this on your own. Then you have to go back and expand on the three evil roots. What is greed? Not only your greediness, all your craving, covetousness, deceitfulness, desire, lust, etc., including whatever you want to take advantage of. All these are part of the evil roots of greed. Then the second evil roots of hatred is not only your anger and hatred, it includes your envy, jealousy, and everything else, including all your other negative, unpleasant mental states, like dislike, unhappiness, etc. They are all part of the evil roots of hatred. Then delusion is ignorant, self-delusion, leading to fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation. All these are the third evil root of self-delusion or Sakkaya Ditthi. So this one, you go back, you expand on it. You listen to that Thursday class sharing. It's very comprehensive, that Thursday class. Okay, then we chant the second pure precept. To cultivate all virtue and blessings leading to the perfection of them all. So you realize this one is slightly different again from the usual advice of the Buddha. The advice of the Buddha is avoid all evil. But you have to include the understanding of what constitutes evil. The three evil roots and expand on them. Then the second advice of the Buddha is, whatever wholesomeness when you have condition, do. But here is different. You have to cultivate all virtue and blessing leading to the perfection of them all. Means not only all this, whatever wholesomeness, when there is condition you do, but as a Bodhisattva, you have to perfect them all. So this is very important, to cultivate all virtue and blessing. Means you not only do first right effort, second right effort, the third, fourth right effort is very important. The third right effort is whatever virtue and wholesomeness that is still not in you, you have to cultivate them, you have to develop. Then you have to refine upon and perfect them through the last right effort, the fourth one. So all these are the important difference between pure precepts and following the advice of the Buddha, the standard advice. And the last one is even more beautiful. But I read the note first. Do you understand the difference between this and the advice of the Buddha that you normally hear of? This one makes it even clearer. Most people only recite, avoid all evil, do good, and purify the mind. And sometimes they never include the word all. They just say avoid evil. It's even written on the gate wall of SJBA, on the behind side. The actual advice of the Buddha is all evil is to be avoided. Then what did he add? To avoid all evil and to understand clearly what constitutes evil. That is more important. If you don't even know what constitutes evil, then how are you going to avoid all evil? That's the reason why you vow, life after life, to have this understanding. So that when you hear this advice again, you are connected straight away. It will manifest through your vows and aspirations. Then you will also know how to cultivate all virtue and blessing leading to perfection of them all. The normal cultivation is just to do good or cultivate wholesomeness whenever there is condition. But this pure precept is to cultivate all virtue and blessing leading to perfection of them all. This understanding is very important because for the Bodhisattva way, we need to go a lot deeper than the normal cultivation. Then the last pure precept is, we recite together, to cultivate wisdom to help liberate and take across all sentient beings. I will read the notes. These are the aspirations that you make so that life after life when you come, you will have this right understanding and true Dhamma understanding. Then only can you cultivate with the right understanding because these are very important right views. That's the reason why I constantly remind you all to make sure that you all get this right and make use of this sasana's great window of opportunity to plant the seed of Bodhi so that in the future all this understanding can manifest and come back to you. Then also at our recent March 2016 Cameron Highland Retreat, there were conditions for all this to arise too, because of Kuan Yin's nature that arise on the 8th day, including all the other appropriate conditions that also fall into place. That's the reason why, through my nature's understanding, I have already granted all those who were there the pure wish to have their understanding. But that pure wish cannot take place or manifest into a reality if on your part you don't cultivate the appropriate causes and conditions to connect to all these great beings. I don't know how many of you were there at that time, 2016. Do you remember that day when Joyce suddenly came in? Then not long, suddenly she burst out. Home, pay me, make me home. Very, very. And the first recitation is not from her. It's from that nature that went in. Then after that, the whole thing continued. Actually, before that, when I passed by her room, she was staying, I think, 2 rooms away from my room, together with some kalyanamittas. That afternoon, lunch break, I saw her very uneasy inside there. Then I asked her, I said, "Do you have anything to ask me?" She hesitated. Then he said, "Bro Teoh, I tell you, you don't tell anybody." He said, "There is something crazy I may have to do." Because she doesn't know what it is. But it's so strong, urging her to go and do it. I said, "It's meant to be. Why you worry?" Then after that, not long our class started. The taking of the vow. He suddenly came in towards the later part of the day. Oh, that whole thing started. Then I knew there were conditions. Then I make the aspiration for all those kalyanamittas who were there. In fact, it includes all kalyanamittas who has the faith, the sincerity, and the determination. That's why my nature felt it very strongly. There were conditions for all this to arise too, because of conscious nature that arises on the 8th day, including all the appropriate conditions that also fall into place. That was the reason why, through my nature's understanding, because I saw the sign, I felt it, I knew, then I have already granted all those who were there the pure wish to have this understanding. Because without this condition, you see a lot of things, sometimes you may use your mundane mind and come out with this question. If Bro Teoh can do, why can't he do? No use, understand? Because there is this nature's intention to help you. It cannot do, and it's not powerful. It has to have this condition. When that condition manifests, this nature do is very different. That's why this nature can never do because you are my kalyanamittas, or you are related to me, or you are my one. If you don't have condition, nothing happens. But when there is condition, it will manifest. So all these are dhammas. You need to understand. That's why this one do not discriminate. This one do not give preference. Sometimes you may not know me, but if there is condition, I will share, I will teach. And this pure wish is already granted. So it depends on causes and conditions, your parami, your sincerity. You have this parami from the past, your sincerity, your vow. Then this will create condition, and it will manifest. And the great beings' nature, they will know. They will accord, they will flow, and they will do their part. That's why cultivation is not what normal people think. It has nothing to do with the deluded, selfish mind. That mind which is selfish cannot understand. They cannot develop the correct cultivation. It needs sincerity. It needs faith. It needs affinity and condition. If you manifest all of this virtue, then the condition will arise. Things will manifest. And you will move. And you move very fast. It's just like in the earlier sharing. Technically, after taking this vow sincerely, with faith and determination, you don't have to do anything. The understanding and the vow and all those aspirations that you have made will take you along. The great being's nature will take you along. So the cultivation is not difficult at all. You just have to be sincere, truthful, have faith, and persevere. No more question after that. Just with faith, sincerity, cultivate. And you will see the result unfolding. You will understand what is happening. But this is part of Dhamma, part of cultivation, nature's law. And all this can be understood. The moment you step into this cultivation, you will develop the understanding through all the sign, the manifestation and all those things. It can only be understood by the cultivator of the way, those who are sincere, those who have the faith and persevere. That's why I say you only need three things: sincerity, faith, perseverance, or diligence. Okay, I read on. So today's taking of the vow is the next stage after the Cameron Highland retreat, for you all to have the right condition to walk this Bodhisattva way. If you do all this, it means you have successfully planted the seed of Bodhi, and you are set for all of your future coming. Then you will connect, and not long after that, the vow will take you along. That's why all these are very beautiful understanding, because the condition just came during the sasana's window of opportunity. A lot of things just happened. The book came and everything else also came. Initially, I didn't intend to teach you so fast about the 5 stages of Bodhi mind development and the cultivation, but that is a very difficult and long topic. But because of this book, that one was referring to the Senyan Fashi, the book that we got from the Far Busan, when we were there. The Taiwan trip also meant to be. But because this book came in the nick of time, and it has the requisite condition for me to explain to you and summarize for you the understanding, so that in future, when we do all this sharing, you all can understand. Because the 5 stages of Bodhi mind development, that book didn't explain. It just quote you the 5 stages. And I tell you, very few people can understand what that thing is, unless you have done it before. So the 5 stages of Bodhi mind development was so beautiful. The moment I read about it in that small booklet, my nature rejoiced, and it's meant to be. That's why that trip to Taiwan, if you all may recall, it was so beautiful, and everything just fall into place. We visited all the 4 great traditions, Buddhist tradition in Taiwan. The first one we went to is, I think, Ciji. Ciji is Senyan Fashi. Then after that, we went to, was it Foguang? I think Foguang, Kaohsiung, Singing Fashi. Then after that, we visited this Zhongtai Chansi. That monk was a very good monk, an old monk. That time he already 90 plus. Zhongtai Chansi. And his way place was so beautiful. And his aim is very simple. He said every year millions of visitors come to Zhongtai Chansi. We are not like government, he said, inviting tourists, he said. He said his aim is very simple. Out of the millions that come, if he can find one, because of the condition there, develop the Bodhi mind, to go the Bodhisattva way, all the money spent, the effort, everything is already worthwhile. That's why very few people understand what he meant I saw it in the booklet when we were there. I just collect that booklet. There is written there his noble wish. Then the last one is the meditation one, the Senyan Pasu Fakusan, yes. And the way place also beautiful. The Kuan-Yin there was beautiful. Fakusan. Then inside there, he has many books. But the very strange thing is, I normally don't take any book. But when I saw that book, introducing the Bodhisattva cultivation, I think, something like that, the title. It was a very thin booklet. Then I flicked through it. Hey! I said, what a book. Beautiful. Then later on, after we came back, Yuan Chan went again. And he came back with the book, The Method or No Method. That was his more deeper retreat version of the book. It was based on one retreat that he conducted. It was based on the meditation that he did, silent illumination. He learned it from another monk who is very famous too. So the first part, I think the first part is by him. Then the second part he introduced the silent illumination teaching by the monk. And the whole book also very relevant, very useful, came in the nick of time. That's why when Yuan Chan came back, he invited me for dinner with my wife and Raymond. Then he said, Bro Teoh, I found this book very interesting. I said, what book is it? He said, like what you teach, method or no method. I said, I never teach method or no method. Yeah lah, I said, similar lah. Then I knew. I said, yeah, method never define the meditation. All these method and technique are just skillful means to train your mind in mindfulness. That's it. That's why the silent illumination also, he used the word method, but it's a method without method. You understand? So it's the same. Means he knew it's not the method. It's the understanding. That's why silent without illumination, Senyan Fasu said, is samatha. It will lead to energy field. It will not lead to wisdom. Silent with illumination is the correct way of cultivation. Illumination is awareness, but silent. That's why it's a silent mind. He used a different word. I don't want to use the word illumination. You know why? It can be confusing. People would think illumination means got light. True or not? What is illumination? It means brightness, got light. Then you go and look for nimitta. Look for light. But to him, it's not light. It's the awareness that illuminates the whole nature, within and without. That's why from his description, you know he understands. That's why he is the foremost in meditation among all the four great traditions of Buddhism. Tzu-chi is compassion in action. Then after that he teach you the teaching, then teach you how to walk this way. But he start the disciple or the follower with action. Compassion in action means go to the ground, help people, see the suffering, understand the noble truth reality, then come back. He teach you the Dhamma to understand all this and to develop the great compassion. Then singing Fasu or Phổ Quang San is Buddhist learning. He is very good in developing great monastery design and all the Buddhist learning. Means he can train monks very well to understand the sutta, to teach the sutta. Yeah. So these three, you combine them, the whole of meditation is inside there. Yeah. But Zhongtai Chansi also fit in very well. That one teach people how to plant the seed of Bodhisattva way. That's why it's meant to be. We went there, we met all these four great traditions, we visited them all. Yeah. Then there was another temple. I remember we went there first. Yeah. That one not that famous, but that place is very unique. There's a lot of great beings there. And when we arrived, I remember the nun that's supposed to receive us. The moment he met our group, she was full of joy. Then she inquired about us, then we talked. Then after that she knew. You know what she told us or not? He said, before you all arrived, I was a bit worried, he said. According to her, it has been raining cat and dog very heavy for the last 2 days. Very, very heavy. Until she thought impossible to receive you all and take you all around. He said, very funny, This morning, he said, the moment she woke up, the rain all stopped. And the weather was so beautiful, cloudy, very nice, very tranquil, very quiet. Then he saw our group. Then after talking to us, he knew it's meant to be. Then they even teach us how to do the chanting and all those things, to go around. And she liked us a lot. Then she took us and showed us around. That way place was also very unique. That's why a lot of these conditions, they just manifest and it just fall into place. And from there, the condition just manifests. The Bodhisattva way also very strange, like I explained in the early part of the book, you remember? For no reason, all of a sudden people wrote to me, kalyanamittas, not other people, requesting for this way, cultivation, all those things. Then when I saw all these conditions, my nature knew that people are ready. Kalyanamittas are ready. That's why at that time I predicted the kalyanamittas force is going to move very fast. And really it happened. That a lot of things just happened. So for those who have been following, who has actually have the understanding, you also will have the experience and the understanding. Then you can also see them unfolding. If you are true towards the way, you will witness all this. It's only meant for the cultivator of the way, the sincere cultivator of the way, those who have the faith, the understanding. Okay, then we read on. Number 4 is the actual taking of the Bodhisattva vow. I will read through the thing so that you can develop good understanding. The actual taking of the Bodhisattva vow. This is now the moment of truth, and we will do it with understanding, so that this vow can become very firmly established. We shall plant the seed of Bodhi by taking these vows. Then the 3 sets of pure precepts are actually the advice of the Buddha, but we have modified it a bit to suit our Bodhisattva way cultivation. These 3 sets of pure precepts actually covers the cultivation of all precepts. Because when you avoid all evil, we are understanding what constitutes evil, then you will be cultivating all virtue and blessing, leading to the perfection of them all. That means you are incapable of evil. hence cultivating all precepts. Then after that, the last set of pure precepts is to cultivate and perfect all wisdom, so that you can help liberate living beings and take them all across, thereby fulfilling the first of the 4 basic vows of a Bodhisattva. So these 3 sets of pure precepts will tie in with the 4 basic vows practices. Yeah? That is the reason why they can become very powerful and beautiful, and it will make a big difference to your cultivation. Now we will recite the vow. We are following the Avam Tasaka Sutta format. So this one is very important. Okay. We will read it together. So I will read the introduction. A Bodhisattva's vow can be found at the end of Avam Tasaka Sutta, as given by Samantabhara Bodhisattva or Pusyen Pusa. He had advised that the Bodhisattva's vow are to be taken with the following 2 famous verses from that same sutta. Now compose your mind. Get ready. Compose your mind, determined with faith, sincerity and understanding. Then together we shall recite them. Okay, taking out the 4 basic vows of a Bodhisattva. Now you reaffirm. Just as all previous Sugatas, the Buddha generates the Bodhi mind of enlightenment and accomplish all the stages of the Bodhisattva training. So too will this nature of mind, for the sake of all living beings, generate the Bodhi mind of enlightenment and resolve to accomplish all the stages of the Bodhisattva training, so that the seed of Bodhi can be strongly planted within our nature. This nature of mind further vow with utmost sincerity, faith and perseverance to walk to perfection this Bodhisattva way. We are taking the following initial 4 basic vows of a Bodhisattva. Now we recite. This nature of mind vows to liberate the countless living beings from samsara and take them all across to the other shore. This nature of mind vow to endure and severe all vexations and suffering. This nature of mind vows to cultivate and penetrate all Dhamma, to realize the perfection of all wisdom. This nature of mind vow to perfect the 10 perfection or paramita, to realize the unsurpassed Sama Sambuddhahood. Then I read to you the notes. We will then take the additional vow, so that it can help us break all our karmic obstruction, to bring about the way, so that we can cultivate more easily. Karmic obstruction can be very powerful, and a lot of cultivators get trapped because of karmic obstruction, and they cannot immediately move, even in this line. When the sasana is still around, for 10 to 15 years, you may be hindered or trapped because of past life karmic obstruction. You may have misled people, causing them to lose the way. That's the reason why this karmic obstruction can come back to obstruct you. If you don't ask for forgiveness and do your repentance, you cannot break them. This is a very powerful way which my nature had developed through its own understanding from its past cultivation. Now I will share this with you. This can also be applied to many other situations. So you have to adjust it accordingly to suit your particular condition and need. But basically, it covers most conditions. Then you can use it to help other people. Just like in this life, I have helped many depression cases and living beings with problem born of their karmic obstruction. Okay, this one you can renew. Additional vow to break all karmic obstruction, to bring about the way. If by action, speech, and thought, whether knowingly or unknowingly, we are ignorant, delusion, and heedlessness, this nature of mind had offended or done anything wrong out to the triple gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, this nature of mind would like to sincerely ask for forgiveness. Then I read the note. This one is very important. If you have committed karmic offenses against the triple gem or caused Sikhism to the Sangha, such karmic offense can be very, very severe, and your karmic obstruction will come and obstruct you or disturb you. But the beauty about the triple gem is, the moment you ask for forgiveness sincerely, it will neutralize the karmic obstruction immediately, because the triple gem has already taken the vow to forgive all beings, the vow of all enlightened ones. Now we will continue with the next few additional vows. Okay, the second additional vow. Whomsoever from the distant past until now, whether knowingly or unknowingly, that this nature of mind has caused any karmic negativity, misery, suffering, or misled, this nature of mind would like to sincerely ask for forgiveness from them all. May my this sincere request for forgiveness be accepted by all, so that all this karmic obstruction can be amicably resolved or watered down or lessened, thereby enabling this nature of mind to continue with its cultivation to realize the true Dhamma with ease. Then this nature of mind also vow to repent, and from now onward vow never to repeat any of this karmic negativity born of greed, hatred, and delusion. We are following the advice of the Buddha to avoid all evil, do good, purify our mind, and strive on with heedfulness to keep the 5 precepts, and cultivate the Buddha Dhamma diligently, so that it will never violate this law of karma again whenever it arises. Then the fourth one. By the power of whatever wholesomeness or merits that this nature of mind has cultivated, since the distant past until now, may arise the causes and conditions for this nature of mind to have the ability to overcome all other karmic obstruction or obstacle amicably, so that this nature of mind will be able to gain back its life, to walk the path of Dhamma, life after life, to fulfill and realize all its Bodhisattva vow. So I read the notes. This fourth additional vow is very important, because you invoke your own power of merits. This is the turnaround to help you move again. Without this invocation of power of merits, this turnaround cannot happen. The karmic obstruction can be very deviant and can be very powerful too. So when you invoke power of merits for causes and conditions, then it will dissolve them. Then you can connect back. Initially, you have to do this until your way is beyond the third stage of Bodhi mind development. At the third stage of the Bodhi mind development, you will develop the very unique third phase cultivation to illuminate your Bodhi, your Buddha nature. This means you not only realize your true mind, but you also connect to your gateway, to your nature. Then you will have the ability to develop the cultivation until you can illuminate this true nature within, until it becomes so different. Then you will know from then onward. You will never regress anymore. By then, all this karmic obstruction will be gone. Otherwise, you cannot realize that type of enlightenment. So the initial phase, before you hit the third stage of Bodhi mind development, you still have to ask for forgiveness to break your karmic obstruction. Then the last type of vow is the additional miscellaneous vow to help enhance the cultivation. So this miscellaneous vow, each and every one of us is different. You can add in your own when the time comes. These are according to the uniqueness of every bodhisattva. Okay. Additional miscellaneous vow to enhance the cultivation. What I have given you here are some of the things that I felt is necessary for you. This one, my nature have actually used them before. Okay, we recite now. This nature of my vow to be successful in fulfilling all my above vows soon as possible. To cultivate strong affinity with all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and to request their nature's constant blessing, protection, and guidance always. To strengthen my 5 spiritual faculties of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya, until they become balas or powers, life after life, so that all the above vows can be successfully fulfilled with ease. Then I read the note. Do you know why you have to do this? It is because most spiritual cultivators never perfect their spiritual faculty until they become unshakable. That's the reason why every life when they come, they have to train. They have to do all this training all over again. But this life, I realize that this nature of mine is different. Because when I come, the moment I cultivate, the spiritual faculties are already there. That's the reason why I can just sit, silent the mind, and just meditate. And I just know what to do. All this must have come from the vows. Otherwise, this nature cannot be what it is today. Like very lucky, everything goes its way. And it can just understand. It can never touch psychic and all those energy feel things. I never learned all this in this life. Then how can it happen? Very likely, it is because of these right views, the perfection, the aspiration and vow. This teaching is either forgotten or lost. And you have to understand that every bodhisattva can evolve their own understanding and come out with better and better ones. Just like this line, this is what my nature understands. Hence is able to share all this with you all. This is the 3rd additional vow. So now we go to the 4th additional vow. And the 4th additional miscellaneous vow is to cultivate extensively all virtue, blessings, and merits to help support my cultivation, so that they will shine forth to aid their nature, this nature of mine, when needed in time of trials, difficulties, and tribulation while walking the Bodhisattva way. So now you understand why you need to cultivate all virtue. It's not just to boost your cultivation, no. Because this way you will encounter a lot of, I won't say obstacle. You will encounter a lot of challenges, understand or not? Because living beings, I tell you, all sorts of karma, all sorts of breed, which you never expect one. But because in the distant past they have certain affinity, that's why they will manifest in front of you. And without these merits, this virtue, this perfection, it's not easy to deal. That's why you need to do this. And when you need them to help you overcome whatever challenges, then you can use it appropriately and usefully. Sometimes all this you need to actually maintain the form and mind. Do you understand? Because your form and mind is very fragile. And a lot of things can happen to it. Like Shenhua, you remember? When he was crossing the ocean to US, he was attacked. What did he use? He used his power of merits. Then he requests for Kuan Yin's protection. That's why he chanted through his side. Because without the perfection and the merits and the condition and the affinity with Kuan Yin, it's not easy for him to deal with all this. Because these are vengeance beings. And the reason why he get into trouble is earlier on he got this vow. He vow every life he come to have the psychic. But he include the sixth one, the sixth penetration, spiritual penetration, means the 5 psychic ability and the enlightenment, the 6. But the moment you touch psychic, you get into trouble. Because it seems he helped somebody to overcome. I think it's the mother's karmic thing. But the beings that actually wanted to take revenge, they couldn't challenge Shenhua when he was on earth. So they decided to withdraw, retreat. Then they contacted the master, their master. Their master said, on land, your teacher also got not enough power to challenge Shenhua. That's why they couldn't do anything with him. But they say, wait till he go on water. That's why during that trip, they attack him in the middle of the ocean. So all this can happen. Then when you have the understanding, all this will come and help you. I read the note, you will understand better. This additional vow is very important because my nature realized without this virtue, blessing and merits, it is very difficult to walk this way. That's the reason why my nature came to realize that a lot of Zen masters, when they come, they suffer a lot and they have to go through a lot of difficulties because their focus is too much centered on cultivation alone. Virtues are equally important. Love, compassion, merits and blessing are also very important. That's the reason why Sakyamuni's way is very good. He set up the Sangha and the ladies. That's the reason why he said, you must keep the precepts. Then follow that type of practice and cultivation. For according to the Buddha, virtue is the source of true happiness and joy. Virtue is the source of true peace, peacefulness of mind. But the last one is the best. Virtue is the source of true spiritual wealth. You will gain spiritual wealth when you make offerings to the worthy ones. In return, they will share with you the Dhamma, and they will send blessing to you. That's the reason why you must make the vow and aspiration. We are reciting Ipina Punyang Kamina Mame Bala Samagamo Satang Samagamo Hotu Yawan Ivana Patya, meaning invoking the power of merits. We are reciting by the power of whatever merits that you have cultivated. May arise the causes and condition for you to always avoid the foolish and the heedless. Meet up with the wise and the enlightened one, so that Nibbana can be realized soon as possible. But you must understand who the heedless are and who the enlightened ones are. If you don't cultivate and have the right view and right understanding, you cannot identify them. You may have the vow, but of not much use because you don't even know who are the heedless and what constitute evil. Hence you are still gullible and still can become their good friend even though you make the vow to avoid them. It is because you vow without understanding. Like I used to tell you all, you vow to meet up with Maitreya Buddha when he arrives. And because of that, when he arrives, very likely you are born. You may meet him, but you cannot recognize him. So not much use, right? This is because you do not know what the qualities of a Buddha are. If you do not cultivate the understanding and affinity, you just vow to meet, but you don't recognize them. That's why you cannot follow. Hence, doubt arises. The worst is when you meet him, you abuse him because you cannot recognize him. When that happens, nobody can help you. If you abuse the Sammasambuddha, no amount of repentance can help you because that is really heavy karma. Okay, we can end our today's session with the understanding of what constitutes the 10 perfection leading to Buddhahood. So this 10 perfection also, I share because at that time, it is actually part and parcel of your cultivation. Because as you go through the cultivation, you develop the perfection one by one. So I will read through, then you understand. First perfection is generosity, means dana parami. That's why you come for the living being. You have a lot of kindness, a lot of love, compassion, and generosity. You serve people with an altruistic mind. You don't think of yourself anymore. That's the reason why dana or generosity parami is very powerful. The gift of truth, the gift of service, helping out and doing whatever you can to relieve suffering of living beings is all part of generosity parami. So now, by now, I think you understand. Generosity or dana parami is not just offering food to the monk. Understand? Not just donation. The gift of truth is the highest gift. That is dana. Then the gift of service when you help people. And helping out and doing whatever you can to relieve suffering of living beings is all part and parcel of generosity parami. When you have the means to help and you are very generous, then you can cultivate generosity parami very easily. You can bring about the causes and conditions for many beautiful things to unfold, just like this life. All our kalyanamittas has done so many wholesome things via our kalyanamittas fund, dana parami. And this can help kalyanamittas generate a lot of very wholesome merits and virtue. Generosity is the function of our generous heart. When you radiate love and metta and compassion, and you come for the living being, all these are very wholesome dana parami. When you develop great compassion and love for living being, you also have great parami. So before I read on, I just want you to understand there is a reason why from the very inception I wanted this grouping to be my kalyanamittas. Then I immediately set up the kalyanamittas fund for the benefit of all kalyanamittas. Yeah, I knew without this kalyanamittas fund, it's very difficult for kalyanamittas to move. And the uniqueness of the kalyanamittas fund, as I explained in the website, nobody with however much money you may have can donate to our Dhamma sharing activity, especially the printing of the Dhamma book, the buying of the whiteboard thing, the writing pen, and whatever recording instrument. And all this are the part and parcel of dana parami on the gift of truth, all my sharing and all those things. That's why I only allow kalyanamittas fund to do all these things. People want to donate, sponsor the whole thing. I said, no, if you want, you donate to kalyanamittas fund. Because this is reserved for kalyanamittas fund. That's why the kalyanamittas force can become what it is today, is because of the things we do. We do with understanding. We do with a lot of wholesomeness. So all our spiritual trips, all our retreat, and everything we do generates a lot of wholesomeness. And kalyanamittas fund have a very unique concept. All those organized by me, the spiritual trip, the meditation retreat, not only our Cameron Highland annual retreat. Last time we had Fraser's Hill. Now we may even have it in Mitraville in October. Then early on was Sumeru and many other places. So all this, our kalyanamittas fund always donate. Then sometimes to other wholesome activity too. Then when we donate kalyanamittas fund, the kalyanamittas fund go to a common pool. And common pool is the pool that the money is used to do all the wholesomeness and meritorious thing that we do on such retreats or such spiritual trips or spiritual activity. That's why you get to partake in all this. So this is the uniqueness of the kalyanamittas fund. So this aspect already help you to generate a lot of dana parami. And these are very, very wholesome, very beautiful. Okay, then I read on. Then you develop moral value via keeping your precept. So the second perfection is sila, meaning you determine not to violate the nature's law of karma, because you have right view in regards to the law of karma, and you maintain wholesomeness of virtue to avoid all evil via following the advice of the Buddha. Then renunciation or nikama in Pali. This is the third parami. You cultivate via developing wisdom to sever all attachment. That's the reason why the final summary of the First Noble Truth, the cause of suffering, this one is not explained by Master Seng Yen. According to the Buddha, is all of suffering comes from self-delusion that condition wants to grasp to the five aggregates of form and mind as the I and the me. So all this grasping, clinging is the cause of suffering. So when you have the wisdom not to be deluded, you won't attach, you won't cling. You can endure and sever all suffering and vexation, and renounce the conditioned world and the entire phenomenal world. That's how renunciation can be perfected. See, this renunciation is not just becoming monk, understand not? Because you can renounce all things, that's why you will never suffer anymore. Even the five aggregate form and mind, you know it doesn't belong to you. You can renounce them all. Even your so-called loved one, prized possession, and everything you think you own, you can renounce them. That's why you can perfect that vow, the second vow, to endure and sever all suffering. Without this wisdom to renounce all things, you cannot develop the perfection of the second vow, the fulfillment of the second vow. So when you vow to endure and sever all perception and suffering, you need renunciation. You must have the ability to renounce all things. And the most difficult to renounce is what? Your own loved ones, those who are close to you. Especially people who meant a lot to you, your parents. Sometimes it could be your teacher or whatever. That's why don't attach, don't cling, don't grasp, because not so real. You already knew the two aspects of the five aggregate of form and mind. They have their nature never die, understand not? What come to pass is the form and mind, and that is not them. So your gratitude towards them, your faith, your love, whatever, is towards their nature. That's why all the great beings, you can still pay your respect, your gratitude, and rejoice with their wholesomeness and thank them sincerely for whatever that they have done for you. Their ability to guide you, protect you, and bless you. So all these are part and parcel of cultivation. So after renunciation is the next one. This one is exactly like what I explained to you just now. You come with a clear understanding that this form and mind is not you, but only a vehicle and a tool for you to come to this world to live and experience life and to develop the cultivation. Then there is no more delusion or problem. As the user of thought, you will then know how to use the mind to arise the right thought, so as to be a blessing to all. You will understand all this. Otherwise, you will have problems. Then for the perfection of wisdom, you have the ability to realize it via your vow, to cultivate and penetrate all Dhamma to perfection. So this one is the fourth parami. Then regarding the spiritual zeal, when you take refuge and vow, the faith or saddha will be there. And that's the reason why this virya will be there too, because of saddha. Then regarding khanti, patience, it means you are not in a hurry to fulfill all this vow. You can take your time to fulfill all this vow and cultivate to perfection all these parameters, so that you can develop all the requisite wisdom and virtue needed to do this work. You will get to cultivate all the understanding and get to experience all of the wonders and beauties of life, so that you can come back to continuously perfect your karmic nature and your spiritual nature. All this can be very beautiful and meaningful. So khanti here is not only like you have a lot of patience, you understand? That one is negatively, you don't understand, it becomes suppression, yan. It's not yan. You are patient because you have wisdom. That's why we call it patient endurance with wisdom. So when you are patient, you are not in a hurry to quickly finish off your cultivation to become enlightened also. But that will remove the sakayaditi, because you think somebody is going to become enlightened, somebody is going to fulfill all this. No. And when you have the patience, you allow time for perfection, for cultivation. So people who understand, they just do. They just do their duty. What is your duty? You have your 4 basic vows. You understand? So your duty is to fulfill the 4 basic vows. So do it. So when you are patient, you will understand what Kuan Yin meant. When you realize all the perfection through emptiness is wonderful existence. That's why they continue to come back. They don't want to just finish it off and realize Sammasambuddhahood. Then only that nature remains. Because they actually don't mind coming back for as long as they think or they deem appropriate. Because of the great vow, because of the great affinity with a living being. That's why they make such vow, which many people who don't understand, who use the thought, they think they are foolish. Like the Astor Bodhisattva, he said, not until the hell is empty of living being, I vow not to realize the Sammasambuddhahood. So all this is to obstruct themselves. And Shenhua got one vow also very heavy. You know what he vowed? He said any of his disciples does not realize Sammasambuddhahood, he also choose not to realize. When he want to continue to stay behind. So he said, if you pity him as your teacher or your he is my refuge teacher, he said, you better work hard. Otherwise you keep him behind. But when you understand, it's not what people think. It's the way they want it to be, because they don't mind. And he also had this determination. He carried this vow. He vowed to endure all of the suffering and vexation of his disciple and those who take refuge under him. Such a heavy burden also he want to carry for you. That's why if I were you, I also feel, in Malay they say malu, paise. Means I feel embarrassed when your teacher had to do all this for you. So it's a literal way of putting it to let you understand that you better be diligent. Then you better persevere with the faith, the sincerity, and do it. Okay, I read on. After you have perfected the wisdom, you will never lie again. Then truthfulness or satya is very easy to perfect because you have no more self. So the mark of a self, cultivating no more. You have no more selfishness. You will be very sincere and truthful in the way you go about doing things. Then all this cultivation will be like very easy. So satya or truthfulness will come naturally when you have cleared the sakayaditi, the self-delusion. When you have penetrated the ability to understand the three types of no mark. No mark of a self cultivating, no mark of living beings, no mark of life, no mark of Dhamma. These are the marks. Then the Huining's three very penetrative cultivation, he takes you directly to the true mind. So you will reach the stage of no thought. As I no thought will allow you to realize your true mind. Then later on when you are able to stabilize all this, then it will locate the gateway. Then when it locates the gateway, when it can actually develop the perfection, then it will illuminate your true nature. That is the third stage of Bodhi mind development. Bodhi mind that illuminates the true nature. And when you reach that stage, the end of stage 3, you will never fall again. That's why after that, the stage 4 is very easy. You can renounce samsara. Then no more issue about how long it takes. Then automatically your parami, your perfection of khanti, patience, everything become like very easy to do. That's how you can renounce samsara and just walk this way with understanding and with ease. But the most difficult one is stage 2 and stage 3. Actually, by the time you hit stage 3, you never fall already. A lot of the perfection you would have completed. So, like I said, the cultivation will take you along. All these vows, aspiration, and right view will bring forth the causes and conditions to take you along. Technically, you don't have to do anything. You only need to make this vow with sincerity, faith, and understanding. Then all this will manifest. Even your Bodhi seed will generate into the beautiful Bodhi mind and manifest. Then when it comes, like this, like I look at my nature, I already told you many times, technically this nature don't have to do anything. I never do anything. It just echo and flow. Then everything just fall into place. That's why it never receives anything or want anything. Then it cannot do all these things anymore. It have understood causes and conditions. And this is something that every cultivator needs to realize. When you realize this, you don't suffer anymore. You would have become beautiful, your nature. Okay, then I read on. The number 8 perfection is aditthana. It's very easy because this one is my specialty. My nature has more or less perfected it. Hence, I can understand it very well. That's the reason why I know how to use the power of merits for making aspiration, do repentance, and ask for forgiveness, etc. to help you in your cultivation, and also how to invoke power of merits to help you overcome your karmic obstruction. These are not stated in the teaching. The repentance they do is somewhat different, even for the case of Master Sun Yan, as evident by his explanation. If there are conditions, I will share more with you. It's stated in his book. You can read through. it to understand why his repentant teaching is different. Because their way of doing repentance is very standard. They never link to all this understanding. That's why they cannot share with you this understanding. But this one comes from perfection of aditana, your affirmation of truth, your aspiration, your strong ability to make vows and all those things. Yeah. So aditana is very powerful. Yeah. So this perfection, as you go through the cultivation, you evolve it, you develop it. But my nature somehow is very different. Through wisdom, it knows this is very important. That along the way, this nature actually understands this very well. That's why it makes use of this to progress very fast. And that's the reason why when it comes in the form and mind this life, it can have this understanding and share. And a lot of the understanding, my nature never learned this life. So this part is very important. Then different cultivator come with different understanding. He has his way, referring to Master Sun Yan. To me, this is the complete way. His is one aspect of it. Then the next perfection is loving kindness or metta. Without love and compassion, you cannot save the living being. So compassion is also under this. Number 9 perfection. Then the number 10 is equanimity or upekkha, enlightenment factor born of wisdom. Again, all this can be perfected. If we look at the 10 perfection, it's like very easy after you have developed the 4 basic vows of the Bodhisattva. With this, we shall end today's sharing. Shall we rejoice? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Then next page is the 10 perfection. We can go through it again. First one is dana, then sila. So dana is generosity. Sila is morality. Then nikama is renunciation. Then panya is wisdom. Then spiritual zeal, virya. Then patient endurance with wisdom is kanti. Then truthfulness is satya. Then number 8 is aditana. Aditana, you can use any of the 3 English words to explain its meaning. One of them is affirmation. Then determination. Then resolution. That's why we always ask people, what is your New Year resolution? You determine to achieve. Then loving kindness and upekkha, equanimity. So this will end what we need to discuss today. Okay, we stop here.